Hello, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So here's the next question on the board Q35. The bearing of F from G is 064 degrees. What is the bearing of G from F? These are the options given to us. So let's solve this problem together. Solution to the problem. Now, this problem is based on bearing, and that is actually three-figure what bearing. You call it three-figure bearing or you call it three-digit bearing because the value that must be given to you there must be in three-figure or three digits. You understand? If anybody gives you bearing question like this and says that the bearing of F from G is 64 degrees, is 64 without adding this zero to it, you know 64 is actually two digits. So tell the parent to correct the question before you solve. So a three-digit or three-figure bearing must have three-digit number. If I just have 64, I simply mean what? Angle. But if I have something like this, 064, it simply means what? Bearing. That's in between bearing and angle. So if you already have a number that is a three-digit like 108, that's a three-figure bearing. You don't need to add zero to it again. But if the number given to you is just two number, that is 64 for instance, it has to be added, a zero has to be added to the front of that 64 to make it what? Three-figure or three-digit bearing. Do you understand the difference between the two of them now? So let's solve the problem. So for you to solve this, you must have your four cardinal points, which is something like this. Start from the middle of your note, okay? So the bearing of F from G is 064. Now, from here to here is 90. So this is 64. That is 064. So it's falling in the first quadrant here, which is within 90. So you are going to move this way. So, and for a three-figure bearing, lest I forget, I have to remind you of something. For a three-figure bearing, you have to start from the north, then measured what? Clockwise. You start from the north. This is the north. You measure clockwise. So that's for a three-figure bearing. So this is 64 now. So you are going to move this way. It's not up to 90. You stop here. Then you move this way. Can you see that? You move this way. Then you put another cardinal point at that point. So F from G, that means this is going to be G. So F is coming from G. So this is F. Do you understand? So let me place the value 064 degrees. So if this is from here to here is 90, and here is already 064, that means here is going to be remaining as well 26. Because when you subtract 90 from 64, you're going to have 26. You can see that I didn't put 026 here because I'm not dealing with angle. Angle stays inside. It's going to be 26 because 90 minus 64 will give us what? 26. Is it clear? So this 64 here is also alternate to this place. That's alternate angles are equal. So if this is 64, here it has to be what? 64 as well. I didn't put 064. Can you see that? Because it's no more bearing, it's an angle. But we have to find what is the bearing of G from F. That means what is the bearing of this one from this place? It's coming from here. So that means you have to start again. Don't forget this is the north of this one. You come clockwise like this up to the line that joined them together here. So which means if from here to here is 90, from here to here will be what? 180. So you are going to add all the angles from here to this line. So that means you are going to add 180 plus 64. You now write that bearing of G from F will now be equals to 180, which is the line coming like this, plus this 64. So when you add this together, you are going to have 244 degrees, which is our final answer. So the bearing of G from F is 244 degrees, and that's option what? C. All right, so stay tuned for the next question, which is question 36. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.